Why relationships in 2026 carry impossible expectations. It used to be the case that when people found partners, they did so according to fairly pragmatic considerations. Couples were formed not primarily by the individuals themselves, but by the wider society, by families, villages, courts, and communities. There were, if you like, dynastic marriages. Then, towards the end of the 18th century, something momentous happened. The rise of what we now call Romanticism. One of the central tenets of Romanticism was that every individual should be left to choose their partner according to the movements of their own heart. Love became personal, emotional, sacred. It's a beautiful idea, a deeply liberating idea. But let's put it plainly, it has also been something of a disaster. We are not appreciably happier now, living in a romantic culture, than people once were in a dynastic culture. And why? Because we live in a society that sees something suspicious in planning, thinking, and reflecting. That you shouldn't question the feeling too much, you should simply follow it. We are told that true partners communicate effortlessly, almost telepathically, through emotion rather than language. We are also taught that criticism is dangerous. If someone says, "My partner is trying to change me," modern culture often reacts as though this is a terrible violation. But if you asked an ancient Greek philosopher what love was, they might answer very differently. They might say, love is a process of education. In other words, relationships are meant to help us grow. Lovers should challenge each other. They should help each other become wiser, calmer, kinder, more emotionally mature. The purpose of love is not merely to admire who someone already is, but to help them become who they could be. That sounds strange to modern ears because Romanticism encourages us to worship authenticity rather than development. Accept me exactly as I am. But perhaps love should also involve growth. What makes all of this especially tragic is that relationships determine an enormous percentage of human happiness. Some psychologists estimate that up to 70% of life satisfaction is connected to the quality of our close relationships. If a Martian arrived on Earth and heard that statistic, they would probably assume human beings spend most of their educational lives studying relationships. Classes in communication, classes in listening, classes in attachment theory, classes in apology and emotional regulation. But we do almost none of this. We study geography, physics, economics, all important subjects, of course, yet we devote almost no systematic effort to understanding how love actually works. Why? Because modern romantic culture still sees too much planning and analysis as somehow hostile to love, and that has become deeply destructive. One of the greatest disseminators of romantic ideology is art. Films, television, music, and storytelling constantly feed us unrealistic expectations about relationships. Most romantic films end precisely where the real work of love begins. They show attraction, not maintenance. Chemistry, not compromise. Passion, not emotional labor. As a result, many people enter relationships profoundly confused about what real love actually looks like. Very few films portray love honestly. One rare exception might be Before Midnight, part of Before trilogy by Richard Linklater. A remarkably honest portrayal of the complexities, frustrations, and tenderness of long-term relationships. But most media gives us fantasy instead of reality. Music does something similar. Love songs compress relationships into miniature emotional dramas. The music may be beautiful, but it often teaches us the wrong lessons about what love is supposed to feel like. And so we are surrounded by stories about love, while remaining strangers to ourselves. The truth is that love is not merely a feeling. It is a psychological skill, a practice, an education. And until we begin treating relationships with the seriousness they deserve, people in 2026 and beyond will continue carrying impossible expectations into love. Not because humans are incapable of connection, but because we have asked romantic love to do more than any relationship possibly can. Subscribe. Every week we have something for you.